All right, so I thought I'd do this little experiment. It's Father Time here at Kennedy, runway 31 left, flying the Captain Sim freighter version of the 777. I am a completely qualified international captain for a major U.S. airline on this airplane. I have like 2,500 hours. I retire in September. I'm bound and determined to be able to fly this thing. I have it set to modern mode instead of legacy. I have the defaults on all the sensitivities, and I'm finding it flies a little more honest that way. I sure can hand fly it better than I can do the automated flight on it, and I sure can't taxi. Oh my goodness, not even close. Don't know what's going on with that. Maybe you guys could let me know if you can figure it out. But anyway, I used to need differential brakes, and every time I touch the brakes, they lock up. Got to cycle the parking brake to move. So anyway, what I thought I'd do, I'm on runway 31 left, as I mentioned. I'm gonna do all the magic off. I'm gonna take off on 30 left. Auto throttle. This is the auto throttle arm system. This is the auto throttles activated. So if you don't, in the sim only, if you don't turn off the auto throttle arm switches, you're going to have all sorts of problems if you're hand flying. And I'm also going to turn the flight directors off and do this, not pay attention to anything in the windows. I'm going to take off. It's flaps 10. That's a 747 flap setting. There's no such thing in the 777. And there's the 4 engines for the 747. If you look at the box here, 747. So even though we're in a 777, it's all 747. So the modeling is what it is. I'm not going to be critical. I don't know how to do any of the stuff that these guys do, but I will tell you that it's not an accurate flight model. But anyway, I'm going to fly 2,000 feet, 220 knots. The reason I'm doing 220 is I'm going to have flaps 10, and that's the clean maneuvers 210 for flaps 10. I'm going to get configured early. I'm going to take off, fly up near Manhattan, fly over and land on 4 left at Kennedy, all visual. Then I'm going to try to use the automated departure, VNAV, LNAV to approach and land on 4 right as the ILS after I land. I'm not going to taxi after I land. It just doesn't work for me. So anyway, here we go. Parking brake is off. Okay. And I'm not going to use toga because I'm not using any command bars anyway. Check the engines for reasonability. They look reasonable. Go to takeoff power, whatever we have set. Now my initial pitch attitude, I'm going to use about 12 degrees. Engine out will be 10. 12 to 15 is 80 knots. We cross-check our airspeeds, all 3 of them standby included. Plane calls out V1. Rotate is a manual call out by the pilot not flying. There's VR, rotate, 12 to 15 degrees. Positive rate, gears coming up, and we take it up to around 1,000 before
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra
power came back. But in today's case, I'm going to bring the power back. We're going to level off at 2,000. I'm not going to answer the radios. I use around 7.5 degrees. Slowly get up to 2,000. Trimming nose up. Gonna bring it out a little ways.
777. Did you hear my last transmission?
Really apologize for my lack of simmanship, guys, with the radios. All right, so there's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge over there. Leveling at 2, about 2.5 degrees. Power back around 50%.
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra 777, acknowledge last transmission.
Trim it up. No, I'm not going to acknowledge, guys. You're going to see when I use the automated that I'm actually doing a better job than the autopilot is able to do. As I mentioned, what I'm doing is just
Captain
flying out a little
Charlie
bit
Sierra
to give myself a
777,
little
did you
room.
copy?
That's a little high. Let's get down to the altitude. Okay. What I also found it's not realistic is the ability to slow down. So if you want to fly this in the sim, 159 is our approach speed for today, as evidenced by
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra 777 IFR flight plan is canceled radar service terminated. Squawk
159.
1200.
So I'll fly
Maintain
163.
VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
All right, we'll turn to base. I'm going to drop gear. We're going to try to make a way over to runway 4. Let's go to 4 right. Having a lot of trouble stopping this airplane as well. All right, speed below 225 from flaps 10. We'll go to flaps 20. What we're going to try to do is get down to approach speed of 163 or so. Gears down. All the way to flaps 30. Just oversped the flaps. Trying to trim it up. Base leg would be around 130 heading. Looks like about 57%, maybe 60. Here's a good base leg heading for runway 4.
Kennedy Tower, JetBlue 722 miles west inbound VOR runway for left approach.
Runways,
JetBlue
there's a runway on final for 4 right or 4 left.
Altimeter
Runways are up in there.
2 wind calm cleared VOR runway 4 left approach.
So here's my impression. It flies
Cleared
okay.
VOR runway,
Autopilot,
4 left
auto
approach,
throttles off,
JetBlue
flight director's
72.
off. The automated system is what leaves a lot to be desired. There's all sorts of problems here in the sim because aircraft are taking off on runway 31, but Father Time here, not going to pay attention to that. We're going to land on 4 right when we do the automated thing. So let's try to land on 4 right manually with all the magic off. So there's Kennedy off to the left. Up in there. 4 rights over there. Fighting for our 163 and 2000. Try to get all the control pressures off. A little more power. All right, we're actually getting a glide slope for 4 right. So I'll follow that on down. That runway protruding into the water is 4 left. 4 right is a little further inland. So we'll use the glide slope as a little bit of a help here. Start banking it around. Little power. That's 4 left protruding into the water. So we're going to do 4 right. So what we're going to do is do this, come to a landing, come to a stop, knock on the taxi. Can't figure it out. And come back around and try to do it with a VNAV, LNAV to approach mode for landing on 4 right. I'm going to probably have to turn off the auto throttles to do the landing.
1,000.
Trimming it. A little bit of power. There's 4 right. Let's Let's roll out here and get a little longer final. If you look at the throttles, looks like about 50% is holding it. The aircraft at flaps 30 would be a little higher.
500.
Is ref, but I wanted to fly ref plus
400.
a few. 64.
300.
Usually we break the sink at around 30 feet.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Up. Lining with the runway. Let's put this bad boy down. Try reverse thrust here. All right, we'll come to a stop. Want to try to taxi? Good luck with that, right? Cycle the parking brake. What I find is, as long as these bad boys are armed, it doesn't work. And the power settings for taxi are not realistic either, guys. As soon as I touch the brake, it locks up and stops. If I try to use differential braking. So right now I'm just using rudder inputs, power, but if I touch the brakes to use differential braking, it'll come
Clear
to a
to
complete
land
stop.
runway 4 left JetBlue 72.
All right, he's landing 4 left, so I would hold short of 4 left. Let's just see if I can make this turn. Naturally, on this 777s, you overshoot the line normally, and 10 knots is what you're looking for maximum turn speed. It'll turn faster than that, but that's a good wet runway, wet taxiway speed. You get nose wheel scrubbing if you try to turn before that. All right, well, you get the idea. So we're going to come to a stop. Set the brakes. And now we're going to try to do this automated, right? And I've now proven to you that I know what I'm doing, that I can fly this airplane around and land it. Not my smoothest landing, but you get the idea. We've also proven that the captain sim airplane can be hand flown.
Departure runway, tree
Nicely.
1 left IFR.
All right, so here we are on the runway. Don't know why that's on. Let me set the altitude. Altitude. I'm going to try to do the same thing, but at 2,000. And we're not going to use VNAV, LNAV. Right now, we'll just use runway heading. This will be set to something more realistic. And we can try VNAV departure. Autopilots, auto throttles are armed here. VNAV, we'll try VNAV, LNAV. We could actually do a departure arrival. JFK. JFK 5. Third one left. All right, so LNAV, VNAV, auto throttles are on, flight directors are on. Parking brake set. We release the parking brake. We would normally bring these up to around 50% before we engage toga, check the reasonableness of the engines, but won't do. It doesn't work real well. Okay, there we go. We'll take off and we'll try to get all the autopilot set up. Look for 80 knots, check the cross property. Acceleration check at 80 is good. Remember, B1 comes on automated. BR is a manual call out, usually made by the pilot not flying.
V1.
Here's rotate. 12 to 15 degrees. Pretty light, so we'll go to 15. Positive rate, gear up. Command bars aren't working real well. So let's try something
Captain
here.
Jeff Charlie Sierra
Autopilot.
777, contact New York departure on 123.7. Good day.
All right. Speed intervene. See if it'll go at 220. Do flight level change.
Captain Jeff
Gonna
Charlie
do it.
Sierra 777.
This
did
would
you hear
work
my last
in the
transmission?
right now. It would maintain this whatever speed's in the window and climb to 2,000. And why don't we do heading select? Heading select.
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra 777, did you copy?
Heading select. We'll start a little left-hand turn out this way. And go heading select.
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra 777.
All right, so we're going to try to
acknowledge
maintain.
last transmission.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. 220, 2,000. And we'll let it level off at 2. There's 220. Let it fly out here. This is Verrazano Narrows Bridge. That's Staten Island, Brooklyn.
Captain Jeff Charlie Sierra
Manhattan off to the right.
777 IFR flight plan is canceled radar service terminated. Squawk 1200.
We'll go out a little ways, and then we're going to
Maintain
clear
VFR.
direct to
Frequency
Heavy.
change
So
approved.
not bad. It's doing 220, 2,000 with the autopilot engaged, auto throttle's on. LNAV, we don't really need that. So let's just go, I don't know why that's on. Deselect that and go to heading. All right, now if we come down here, we'll go departures, arrival at Kennedy, iOS 4 right, execute, then go to legs. It didn't work. So departures, arrival. Approach. iOS 4 right. Looks good, right? Execute. That's better. Legs. Zeedle. Execute. LNAV. See if the airplane turns over towards Zeedle, which is the FAF. And you can see the altitude for Zeedle is 2,000. Now my experience is we're going to have to get nice and slow. This airplane slows down really well in real life, but not in this simulator. So I'm going to put the gear down. Speed for flaps 15 is, well, it won't go to 15 in this one because it's a 7.4 simulation, but go flaps 20. Start getting down there. And see we're going direct to Zeedle. It's going a little wild. And we'll go flaps 30. That's flaps 25.
Air Senegal
200.
407. Follow the generic on
Flaps
flight.
30 is 180.
Windcom cleared to land runway tree 1
Let's
left.
get this back.
Cleared to land runway tree 1 left air, Senegal 407.
So it's LNAV and over to
Kennedy Tower
Zeedle.
Delta tree 1514 miles southeast, inbound VOR runway 4
Or the
left
flaps
approach.
30. And our approach speed,
Delta tree 15, Kennedy Tower. Altimeter 29.9er, 2 Windcom cleared VOR runway 4 left approach.
it's 159. So I'm going to fly 164.
Cleared VOR runway 4 left approach, Delta Tree
All right,
15.
spoilers armed. I'm going to use max braking because I cannot seem to stop this thing manually. Normally we'd arm the speed brakes, but they won't arm. Let me take a look at something. All right, so here we are at 2,000 feet. LNAVing our way over to Zeetel. I think I'm going to go heading here we go. Just turning on final. Here comes the localizer. So we got low capture. Glide slope is armed. That white means glide slope armed. Green means low capture. And we're going to see if this thing will follow it on down. So we 164 is our approach speed. Low capture. And we'll see if it intercepts the glide slope. I do know from experience that this thing is absolutely not, as far right out there, going to auto land. So I'm going to have to turn
Kennedy
these
Tower, JetBlue
throttles off.
1625 miles west
These are
inbound VOR runway.
normally
4 left approach.
these would be the auto throttles that the light would
JetBlue
be on.
162 Kennedy Tower.
These are the auto throttles.
Altimeter
Arms the
29er
system.
decimal 9er. 2 wind calm, clear
You have to do
VOR
this
runway.
or one
4
of these
left approach.
functions to actually get the auto throttles to work. But I just know that as I transition, if I don't know disarm these auto throttles, things are not going to work out. So
Cleared VOR runway 4 left approach. JetBlue 162.
So here we are. There's glide slope capture. You can look up here. It's green. So it went from arm to capture. Look green. Glide slope green. Is it going to maintain my 164? It's trying. That's ref plus 5. This is honestly the best job it's done, or I've done. All right. So my plan here is I'm going to let it fly it all the way down to around probably 200 or 300 feet, and then I'm going to turn off the autopilot and auto throttles at around 300 feet and land it manually. It will not land automatically. Well, you know what? Should we try it?
JetBlue 162 wind calm caution. The generic landing runway 4 right. Cleared to land
let's try
runway
it.
4 left.
It's a short runway. It's only 8,400 foot runway.
Cleared to land
So
runway
this big
4
baby
left. JetBlue
boy, it's
162.
hard to stop it. I
Delta
better not do that.
15. Follow the aircraft on final. Wind calm caution. The generic landing
So
runway
the two
4
things.
right.
I'll go autopilot's
Clear
off,
to
auto
land
throttles
runway
off.
4 left.
Normally you would do that right on the click on the throttles and on the
Clear to
yoke.
land runway 4 left. Delta tree
In
15.
today's case, I'll have to do it up here in the panel. It's doing an okay job. It's a little high. Still got low capture guys. Flare and rollout are telling me that this thing thinks it can auto land.
500. 400.
You know what? I obviously could land it from here. Let's let it try it, see if it does it. I can always turn this off.
Air Senegal 407. Turn next taxiway.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Get a little reverse going.
JetBlue 162. Contact ground on 125.05. Delta Tree 15. Contact ground on 125.05.
And that's it. It did auto land. It did do the job. I'm going to come to a stop here if I can. Huh. It did auto land. It wasn't pretty, but it did it. All right, so that's a demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. Father Time's out.